Hey everyone, I'm NASCAR Cup Series driver Anthony Alfredo. I'm an iRacing content creator for XSET Gaming, and today I'm your host for Nerf or Buff. If something is overrated, we're gonna nerf it. If it's underrated, we're gonna buff it. So let's get started. Pasta absolutely has to be buffed. You can never have enough of it, and my nickname is Fast Pasta, so definitely a buff. Contrary to popular belief, my favorite pasta dish is penne alla vodka, not fettuccine Alfredo, although I do like it. Warzone needs a buff because I feel like it kind of went down a little bit, and that's kind of what got me out of the space just for a little bit, but I've been trying to get back into it, and I think a good little buff would hype it back up for me. The Daytona 500 should definitely be buffed because that is NASCAR's version of the Super Bowl. Even though it's the first race of the year, it's the biggest, and when you win that one, you go down in the history books. Bitcoin needs a nerf, and the reason I say that is because I need it to be nerfed so I can buy more of it. I don't have any other cryptocurrencies that I've invested in, just Bitcoin. So if we see that go back down a little bit, I can buy some more, and then we can buff it. iRacing definitely needs a buff because it is a growing space. It's definitely a tight-knit community, but it has so much potential to grow. Obviously, XSET Gaming has a team that I'm involved with. Our two drivers are Casey Kerwin and Ryan Luza, and I'd love to see that space grow and become more mainstream. The nickname Fast Pasta definitely needs a buff, I think, because everyone seems to refer to me as that, but I don't think it's a bad thing because it's Fast Pasta. It's not like they're calling me Slow Pasta, so we could roll with that. Mario Kart needs a nerf because it's a little bit overrated. I think when you get into serious racing games, you're hopping on iRacing, the simulation, super realistic. That's real racing. It's just virtual. Mario Kart is a great entry-level game, but it's good for the nostalgia reasons, but I don't think it's the best racing game out there. Go-kart racing is for sure a buff because that's how I got my racing career started, as well as many other drivers, if not all of them. It's a great way to get your feet wet, and you can even just head to the track and have fun with friends, so it's always a good time. Pineapple on pizza 100% has to be nerfed. I don't know who came up with that idea or thought that was smart, and I don't care. It might taste good, but that would be a crime to eat pineapple on pizza. To any of my Italian family members, they might not talk to me again if I had that. Coffee, 100% buff. I'm a big coffee drinker. My favorite kind is Death Wish coffee. It's the world's strongest coffee, and I don't think that it's overrated. I think the hype is there for sure. Fishing is definitely a buff for me because it is one of my favorite hobbies outside of gaming, just to get outside, do a little bit of fishing, either by myself or with some friends. It's always a good time, and it just seems to be something that's a little bit underrated where I grew up. Ever since I moved to the Charlotte area, a lot more people do it, so it's pretty easy to find people to go fish with, and it's always a good time. Rock music is 100% a buff for me because I grew up listening to classic and hard rock. I walked out to Paranoid by Black Sabbath at driver introductions this year at Bristol Motor Speedway, so 100% buff it. The Outer Banks TV show is probably going to have to be a nerf because season 1 was epic. I would have said buff it, but season 2, I don't know, I feel like we might be getting a little bit carried away, and we're going a different route now. This happens with a lot of shows. I always seem to like the first season the most. Still a good show, but it is a little bit overrated. Dogs already have a lot of hype around them, but you can't have too many dogs, so we're gonna buff it because I want a dog so bad. I don't have one yet. I just travel too much, but one of these days I'm gonna get a dog with my girlfriend. I'm definitely gonna get a golden retriever. Like, dogs are amazing, and like I said, I think we gotta buff it. I think the hype is already there, but you can't hype them up too much. Thank you all for watching today's episode of Nerf or Buff. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you all later.